Good morning, respected dignitaries, esteemed guests, faculty members, and dear students. On behalf of RV College of Engineering and the Entrepreneurship Cell, we extend a warm welcome to each and every one of you here to the Berlin Startup Delegation Program at RVCE. I am Vishnu.
And I am Sanjana. Today, we bring together visionaries from Berlin's vibrant startup ecosystem and the bright minds of RVCE to explore global opportunities, foster collaboration, and ignite the spirit of entrepreneurship on our campus. Entrepreneurship Cell has always been at the forefront of nurturing innovation, empowering student founders, and building bridges between academia and industry. Today's event is a proud continuation of that mission.
To begin this inspiring morning with a moment of peace and reflection, we will now have the Invocation song by Madhura.
Karambudhabashabhijapuram kalushavidhuram bhutakaram harati kurvadoshitabhimbam hamsadhvani bhushitaheram vamvatapi ganapatim bhaje vamvatapi ganapatim bhaje varana syuvayavratum shivatapi ganapatim bhaje
Thank you, Madhura, for that auspicious start to the program.
We request the following dignitaries to be seated on the dais, please. Mr. Nikhil A. Murthy, Dr. K.S. Subramaniam, Dr. K.S. Geeta, Ms. Katka Nagyova, Mr. Vishnu Nataraj, and Ms. Alisha Davis.
Ganesh Uncle.
Mr. Ganesh Uncle.
Moving forward, it is my honor to introduce the driving force behind today's collaboration, someone who has consistently strengthened RVCE's global partnerships and fostered meaningful international collaborations. We now invite Dr. Nataraj JR, Dean, Global Partnerships, RVCE, to deliver the welcome address.
Good morning, one and all. So first of all, let me take the pleasure of welcoming our students first, because I think that this program is exclusively made for you all, the young entrepreneurs, the hungry entrepreneurs of RV College of Engineering. So first of all, I would like to welcome you to this program. And the second is I would like to welcome the new batch of ECEL members. As you can see, they just took over this responsibility 2 days back, and here they are delivered this program. The entire management of this program is by them. So I welcome them, and then if they make any mistakes, so you know they are new to this, and you can excuse them. Yes, thank you. So I will give a brief idea about why we have assembled here. Exactly about 1 year back, in the month of November, we had two guests from the Berlin Senate Office, Economic Department of Economic Affairs and Energy. One, Dr. Anna Hochreiter, and her assistant Ida Osbe. So they were here to understand the Bangalore as a startup capital, and of course they visited RV College to understand the skilling part, the talent what is available, and why Bangalore is world famous or one of the startup capital after San Francisco. So I think within few minutes or within a few minutes they realized what potential Bangalore has. And after that, I thought it must be one such visit. You know, the governments come and the representatives come, and after that there was no email exchange with them. And I was in Berlin in the month of May this year. I thought let me just send an email to them as a follow-up. Is there any follow-up actions post your visit? To my surprise, within half an hour, I get an email. No, please come. We have a lot of things to discuss. So I have never been to any government office in India, sir, but I get the invite in the Berlin Senate. So this was a surprise for me, and I spent about 2 hours there discussing about about our students, how they are performing in Germany and India as a whole, how talented or the positive motivation what our youngsters have in India. Several such type of aspects I discussed with them, and immediately after 2 days after that, I get an email from them saying that there's a delegation visit, and this delegation will be headed by Franziska Giffey, the senator from the Berlin Senate. She is the head of the Economic Affairs Energy department, and she will be here with a delegation of 20 startup founders. So this was really a big success of our meeting. And then I sent this request to our principal. I was still in Germany that time. Within 30 minutes, I also get an approval from the principal. Let's go ahead with this program. Thank you, sir. I think because of your foresightedness and your support, this program is happening. After that, Franziska Giffey was here in the month of July, and what a program. I think it was well attended by all the students. The important aspect of that program was the senator herself was making a pitch for the Berlin as a startup ecosystem. Of course, the delegation whom she brought along with her understood Bangalore as a startup capital, various aspects of a startup growth, be it funding or understanding the Asian market or the Indian market. So that was their objective. But at the same time, she also understood what India can offer, what RV College can offer, how talented are our students. So that was her takeaway from RV College. And here we are within the next 2 months, the second batch of the founders who have the startups from Berlin are here today. So I wholeheartedly welcome all the founders who have started their startups from the Berlin ecosystem. I wholeheartedly welcome to you. And it was not a surprise, but we can see that many of them are of Indian origin. They are Indians, and they are making a big impact. Like in United States or everywhere, the Indians are making really big impact, and many of the founders are of Indian origin, or they have studied in India, so they are here. And the second important aspect, we saw also, they are young. Okay, so I think that is the indication what I am giving to you, that these things are to be pursued by the young people. Okay, or right after your education or immediately after your engineering, you should really think of this. I just yesterday saw one LinkedIn video where there is a walk-in interview in a Pune company, and 3,000 people are in the line. So it's very clear that not only the Indian companies or the government can provide enough employment, but we should start generating employment, or we should have a startup and in turn give employment to others. I think that should be the next line of growth. So anyway, I will not bore you with that. So I would also formally wholeheartedly welcome our today's chief guest, Mr. Ganesh Shankar. So he is an alumni of RV College of Engineering from Telecommunication Department. He will tell more about himself during his talk. He was also quoted in one of the Man Ki Baat from Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So we are very proud of him that he accepted. He is here, and he is one of our RV students, and he has accepted to come and talk to our young future entrepreneurs. Thank you, Mr. Ganesh. I wholeheartedly welcome the leadership of RV College of Engineering, Principal Subramaniam, Vice Principal K.S. Geeta. I think they are the huge supporter of any such programs. I am sure whenever I walk into their office, I already have an approval for all the initiatives which happen through these global partnerships. Thank you, both of you. Equally important person is our Mr. Nikhil Murthy. He is the Assistant Secretary of Rashtriya Section Assembly Trust. We are very happy, sir, that you are here. And I think it's an important event, and someone of your stature representing the management and seeing this event in person gives a big pat on our back. Thank you very much. Then I would also like to wholeheartedly welcome two important people for this. One is car startup, Mr. Vishnu and Alisa Davis. So they are instrumental in arranging this delegational visit. And of course, you can meet them after this event. I think they are quite, resourceful people in terms of setting up your startups or any such things. So they will be here. And of course, we also have from Berlin, we have agents from the Berlin agency who are managing this delegation. We have Katka. I wholeheartedly welcome to you to this event. Yes. So once again, I welcome you all. I also welcome several of my colleagues from the placement department and my other colleagues who are part of this program. I also see a prospective parent here. I welcome you. We also have another company from Bangalore, URH. I welcome you to this event. I wholeheartedly welcome you all for this event. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring words and your leadership in creating opportunities that connect RVCE to the global innovation landscape. We now invite Ms. Katka Nagyova from Betahaus X, our esteemed partner from Berlin, who has played a key role in building international startup bridges.
Thank you very much, and thank you for the warm welcome, the whole team of the RVC College and the organizers. We are here coming from Berlin, from Asia Berlin to connect. And before we actually get into introducing ourselves, I would be curious to learn about you. So I would like to know how many of you have some side projects or gauge the entrepreneurial landscape here. So raise your hands if you have some side project while studying. Okay, that's very interesting. It's wonderful to know because this is actually usually the time when you start building something and then it could end up like being on the stage here today. And I'm very happy to be here and build the connections between Berlin and Bangalore and RVCE College because we are having a lot of founders who are, as you will see and hear very soon, originally from India. And what we also have with Asia Berlin is this platform connecting startups between the ecosystem. So it gets easier for you to expand or to start something in Berlin while you're there and to connect to the tech ecosystem. Because as we were already mentioning, Berlin is the startup hub in Europe. The operating language is English, which is very welcoming. You can live there for many years and operate or even get your clients or pilots running in English. And that's why I'm happy to bring the delegation in here to introduce to you what's being done there and what's possible. One thing that unites them all is that they're utilizing AI in some way, so I think that's also quite on topic for you. And on the other hand, as I was introduced, I'm also the CPO of Betahaus, which was the first coworking space in Europe, started out of Berlin. And that's actually how it started. It was all these bright minds and people who had some side projects or some hustles that they wanted to get together and have a nice, encouraging space to work from. So it's very community-driven co-working space. We have many of them around Europe right now, and I would like to extend my welcome to invite you to Europe. So if you ever come over or you need a workspace or a place to pitch your idea, you can definitely look at Betahaus, and we can probably get you into some of the community events there. And now, without further ado, I would like to also hand over to the Asia Berlin startups, I believe, and learn more about, let them introduce themselves and also learn about the startups that you have in here. Thank you very much.
Thank you for sharing your vision, ma'am. We truly appreciate your work in building a strong bridge between Berlin and Bengaluru's entrepreneurs. Next, we welcome Vishnu Nagaraj and Alicia Davis from Carve Startup Labs, an organization committed to supporting and accelerating impactful ventures. We invite you to address the audience.
Yeah, hi everyone. Maybe I will start and I will hand over to Mr. Vishnu Nagaraj. First of all, good morning everyone. Thanks for gathering here. And I would like to take this opportunity to first thank the RVCE College because with what information which we shared to Mr. Nataraj sir, he wholeheartedly welcomed us to the RVCE College. I truly appreciate it, sir. So I begin with Professor Subramania sir, VP Geeta ma'am, and Trustee Nikhil sir as well. And Nataraj sir, thank you so much for the opportunity to visit RVCE College, and thanks to all these young entrepreneurs who gathered here. So maybe I will give a quick overview of what we do. So we work with matured stage startups who want to expand to different regions. So we work with around like 30 to 40 plus countries. We have a base in Bangalore and Berlin. And myself, I represent an Asia Berlin ambassador as well. So I would like to invite everybody to the summit, which is going to happen in November 24 and 28, November 24 to 28. Yeah, thank you. Maybe over to Vishnu, you can address me.
Yeah, I think my co-founder already thanked all the dignitaries. Thanks again on the dais, all the dignitaries. And Katka, thanks for the opportunity for Carve Startup Labs to handle this implementation of Expansion Lab. So quickly saying, Expansion Lab is one of the projects which help Berlin startups to see the international market. So we are the one of the Indian implementation partner. So I just want to add a few things from our story because it might be apt for this the particular event. So I started from my college in the third year of my BTech. I was randomly saying some stupid ideas like I can also control the car like James Bond did in a movie. So then I submitted it. I got funding from the London to do that idea to POC, but miserably failed multiple times because in college This was in 2014, in the beginning of this startup like kind of area. So I was constantly trying and learning, failing, etc. I got selected as one of the batch in COE IoT in Bangalore. I met the awesome person Ganesh there also there. Great to know that you are from RV College as well. So it took me lots of years, and later after these two failures, I got an opportunity. Like I saw a gap that I want to do something like in CSL. There's a big gap. The entrepreneurs is facing a lot of issue and they look for expand. And again, after starting the CSL, it took me 2-3 years to fine tune many things. And one time I got an invitation from Asia Berlin Summit as a speaker, and I went to Berlin. And that was my turning point in my life. Now, as Alicia said, if now working with almost 50 plus partners, almost 300 brands, we expanded, visited 250 plus colleges, 40 plus countries we are working. So the Berlin visit and the connections like these people was a turning point. It took me for 4 to 5 years of efforts to get that. But now see this, guys, your college brought the entire people in front of you. Just within your first year or second year or third year. Now the world is changing, many support system is there. You have a lot of people to inspire, like Ganesh from your college, making lots of things here. So people like us took almost lots of efforts to get ourselves to get connect. Now your college is bringing the entire future in front of you, maximum utilize it. It's not just one event happening in the college. Just try to explore, and I'm also happy to connect with you guys to and see if there is anything I can add value. And big thanks to the college to make this future to all these students and all the organizers behind it. Thanks a lot. Thanks for the opportunity.
It's inspiring to hear about your commitment to accelerating impactful ventures. We're grateful to have you as a part of this initiative. Thank you.
And now, it is our absolute privilege to introduce our chief guest, an inspiration for every aspiring entrepreneur at RVCE.
He is an alumnus of RVCE, a serial entrepreneur who is the founder of FluxGen, the Sustainability Mafia, and AirProbe. A trailblazer in sustainability, technology, and startups, he has proven that innovation from RVCE can create global impact.
Please join us in welcoming Mr. Ganesh Shankar to share his entrepreneurial journey and wisdom with us.
Thank you so much. If I'm standing here, it's all because of teachers who taught me from the very same college. So I want to thank them. I still remember coming here for the civil engineering department, Professor K. Jagdish sir. I used to go here and ask him what did I do mistake in my paper. So I still remember this very place. So civil engineering department, such a great pleasure. Thank you, Professor K. sir, for inviting me, and he's one of the most amazing person I've ever met. I'm not saying because he's near. He actually came to inauguration of my new office and even sang a beautiful poem. I request him to do that today as well. No, I mean, so the thing is, we have a visionary leader in the form of our principal. I think you're all lucky, I should say. Like, I left the college long before, but he still came to our office to inaugurate and sing a song. So yeah, Nikhil, I think thanks for building such a great, supporting such a great college. And when only disagreement I had when Professor Nataraj asked me was, I'm always a student of this college. I cannot take any other title. So all you are. Right, so chief guest is too much of a this one. To me, I'm a student forever. I'll come to this college whenever I've been called to, and this is the college that made me who I am. So thanks once again for giving me this opportunity. Katka actually asked this question: what is a side gig you do along with the college? I was silently raising my hand because even I was doing a side gig when I was a student. So, Professor Kane actually told me to tell about my startup journey. So I would start with that side gig when I started as a student here. So during my time, we used to fail in lab exams. Do you have lab exams? Do you still have? Right, the electronics lab, circuits lab, It was a very, because if you don't get output, you fail. At least in the other exam, you write theory and somehow you get 35. So I saw a business opportunity, right? Because I somehow managed to pass in all the lab exams, but still I remember the misery of others in the whole university at last. We were part of VTU at that time, not autonomous institute at that. So I started a small laboratory. I convinced my father, let's get some second-hand electronic equipment tools and CRO, cathode ray oscilloscope and others, and help students do more experiments. Because maybe RV College, of course, had special privilege. We had very good instruments, but many other colleges in the university didn't have. So we used to actually run this lab tuition. I used to run this day. I used to come to the college. Evening, I used to run the lab. We almost had 100 students come to that, and I got the return on investment on those equipment within 6 months. So one of the most important things I learned from that experience is there should be market for your idea, and then if you execute it well, you'll actually get the return on investment. So that something stayed with me even today as an entrepreneur. Of course, after graduating from RV, I wanted to be in startup from the very early. So I also started a small gig, as I said. So I worked in a startup soon after my engineering, something that played a very important role even today. I worked with this company called Next First Engineering Technologies, which was a robotic startup at that time. The word startup was not as celebrated as it is today, but I took the chance. My parents thought my son has gone, he's got a job in Infosys, but he's taking a job in a startup. What does a startup mean in the first place, right? So I worked in a startup, but yeah, I had written GATE in my final year of engineering, reasonably good rank, so I got an admission at the Institute of Science, so I had to leave that startup job and do my master's at the Institute of Science for next 2 years. But yes, I got carried away by a glamour of great salary, CTC, when I was a student at Institute of Science and took up a job at General Electric in aerospace business. GE Aerospace, I worked there for a couple of years there. But then my heart was for startup, and I realized that I don't belong to the corporate world after that 2 years. But I also wanted to work in an area that meant something to me. When I worked on those lab tuitions, it was not a very deep conviction for purpose. But my time in ISC and my time at GE, we used to have a conversation on philosophy and philosophy. I mean to say even Indian philosophers on what is the purpose of our life? Why should we be even alive? These conversations hurt really hard, and I thought I want to work on something that our country needs the most. So I wrote my resignation letter to GE by saying that I want to work on eco-friendly engineering solution for our country people in a small way. While today we always talk about big, I always believe we have to always start small, and that was my philosophy even then and today. The thing is, we get too enamored by something really big, but I think you always start small, because journey to 1,000 miles starts with a single step. So I wrote my resignation letter, and I left my job at General Electric to go to a small village at that time. Now it's a town called Ujre. I don't know how many of you know Ujre. It's close to Dharmasthala. And I wanted to work in environment, but I had no knowledge about. I did telecommunication engineering in RV College of Engineering, so I had no idea how to build solution in environment, because eco-friendly engineering solution. So thanks to a professor of mine from Institute of Science, Professor Ashok Rao, he introduced me to Dr. Harish Shande, who later on went on to win the Megasese Award, Selco founder. And I worked in Selco for next 6 months of my life. That helped me understand what it is to work in environment sector. And then I came back, took a year break. I don't know if I can advise this. I took a year break just doing cycle rides to figure out what I want to really build. Of course, Bangalore to Goa, Bangalore to Chennai, bunch of these rides, right? That also was very meditative. So it's also something that inspired by our father of nation, Gandhi. When he came back to India, he actually saw the whole country, right? I thought I should see our country first time cycling to know what our country needs. Then I started a projects and consulting company by the very name Fluxgen Engineering. Today it's a different company, Fluxgen Sustain Technology, to work on environment and sustainability related projects like solar energy, agriculture, water. Bunch of these ideas. I didn't have a specific business plan. I'm glad today you guys actually work on a very specific business plan and build a startup. Unfortunately, I come from a family of teachers. I didn't have that startup learning so much to actually work on one single problem. I worked on 4 or 5 ideas. It was like doing project and generating revenue, and it's hand to mouth kind of level for next 5 years of my life. We did work with Institute of Science and worked in various other research institutes on renewable energy, water, agriculture. Later to that, I realized there's so much potential in solar energy. At that time, when Prime Minister Modi had come up with the startup mission and also the solar mission, the goal was to power the entire country, at least a significant fraction by solar. So we realized that the utility scale solar farm would become very common and it's going to expand like anything. So the biggest problem in solar plant was reliability. How would it generate reliable power? Because the sun doesn't stand in one place, so there's a variation of sunlight and also cloud cover, and at the same time external parameters like soiling and other things that lead to reducing energy consumption generation. So we developed a drone tech company. We would fly drones on the solar assets and take radiometric and thermal images on the solar assets. These are like acres together, and human intervention to identify inefficiency in this solar plant would actually take a lot of time. So we ended up actually flying these drones on the solar assets, take these images, and increase the efficiency of the solar assets, increase the profits to our clients by 20%. We had Tata Solar, Acme, SoftBank, LG, Renew. We went across 3 continents. And this company was doing so well that it was profitable, and we were acquired by a San Francisco-based company called Zypio. We were 25 at that time, and today that same organization in India is 300 members. So that's how the impact of our work got scaled. But once you're an entrepreneur, you can't, it's another one addiction that you can't end up taking another job. So I started another company. I loved the name Fluxgen Engineering, so I started a new company called Fluxgen Sustainable Technologies. We work on water. I still remember the earliest childhood. We used to drink water from the well, and by the time I started going to school, the well dried out and we started drinking water from the tap connection we're getting from Kaveri all the way 150 kilometers. And then I remember when I went to high school, we had to construct a overhead tank. And later to that, we had to construct a sump. When I came to RV College of Engineering, I still remember we constructing sump at that time. And then when I went to do my master's at IISc, we had to construct another overhead tank. As I talk to you today, we get water from tankers. From seeing water from well, today I don't even know where I'm getting the water. So this really affected me. As I said, this kind of really affected water. Why this is concern as a countryman, this is also an opportunity as an engineer, right? So I decided to work on water management. So we wanted to digitize water infrastructure. What doesn't get measured doesn't get managed. Something that I think Professor Keynes would talk in his lectures, that Six Sigma, that if you have to define, measure, analyze, improve and control, then only you are actually solving a problem. So that's the same thing we applied in water. We decided to digitize water, identify leakage, wastage, excessive usage through our digital platform, and improve reduce the water consumption by up to 30%. So, and not just that, start taking data of surface water from satellite, and you can put an unmanned surface water vehicle to take the water quality in the lakes, and also see wherever you see water, let's measure it, analyze it, and improve the water infrastructure. So that's how the idea of building Fluxgen Sustainable Technologies came into idea, and we were able to scale from one company. We always start with one company. You need one happy customer, one customer who really talks highly about you after service, they get it. So that is something that I always want to tell you guys. Always solve an unsolved problem. Don't solve something which is already solved. Solve an unsolved problem, because digital water was not solved at that time, at least when we are talking about, right, 2021, that many factories didn't have, they were using a mechanical flow meter taking hand readings, and there was not a digital infrastructure to manage water. The second thing I want to tell is, when you actually are very customer obsessed, when you're actually putting all your life into solving that customer problem, you're building your product. So your product gets built along, it's a collaboration with your first few customers, right? So that way I'm very thankful to, again, the Tata Group. I got my education at Indian Institute of Science at Tata Company. My first customer, even at AirPro, the drone tech company, was Tata Solar. And the first company that gave business for the water tech companies, again a Tata company, Tata Jewelry, they help us what to solve, right? So when you are looking at solving, take that. They are your collaborator, not your customer. You do everything. Even if unit economics doesn't look attractive at the start, it will eventually. The third thing I want to tell you is the people you build are the most important people. So I mean, like, I'm glad that I got Hari Dilip Kumar, who was also my senior in college, actually helped me in my initial stage of my career in this startup. So he was also looking for his next gig, and we actually, thanks to RV College again, I found my this one collaborator to the college. And another thing I want to say is, while you build your team, always remember the college is your home. Please come to the college. I know that the college wants you to succeed. So whether it is RV College, I've done work here as well. I've got good opportunity to collaborate with. I have students from RV College. You're also welcome to work with me at any point of time. And I've got many people join from RV College. So this is your home. I can't tell you. I mean, you have chosen a great college, so you have made the first step right in your startup journey, right? You can come here anytime after when you want to start your venture. I am sure Professor Keynes and his entire team will support you, because the future of employment, future of everything comes from another startup. Infosys was a startup at some point of time. I'm glad today my company has raised investment from Infosys founder Chris Gopal Krishnan Shubulal, Nitin Kamath, and various other things. They all were. I still remember when I met Chris Gopal ji, he mentioned that how they were crazily struggling at that time to make a one customer happy. But today they are $100 billion business. That's because they solved their first customer right. If there's one thing I want you to take away from this meeting is make your first customers happy. It's a bit of a funny story. So Sundays, actually I'm supposed to take care of my son. My wife generally wants me to do that. I'm just not doing that job well. And I just suddenly got a call from my father saying that, hey, what are you doing? Prime Minister Narendra Modi spoke about Fluxgen. Did you hear it? I didn't help, but I told no, I was just, your daughter-in-law was very unhappy with me, pissed off with me because I was not taking care of your grandson. So I don't know how Prime Minister office works, but that's another great thing of this nation, right? The Prime Minister directly talks to everyone through his podcast, All India Radio, and I just focus on my work all the time, not really thinking whether something like this would happen. But yeah, I don't know, sir. I think maybe I've spoken in forums where I've spoken in events. Probably that's been heard by folks at Niti Aayog. I've spoken in events where Niti Aayog people have also been in the audience, and he spoke about saying that his pitch is a very solid 30-second pitch. I can tell you that he talks about how we are using latest technology like Internet of Things and digital technologies to manage water and help in effective utilization of the water. So I'm so glad that in all my sales present, I would talk out everything about my work, and last slide would be Prime Minister's that 30-second clip. Everybody gets like, we are working with you the moment they hear him. So I think the country is pro startup. If a small startup like me at that time, I mean this is almost 2 years back, could actually get recognized by the head of the country, perhaps one of the greatest leader of this one most important leader at this point from a very geopolitical point of view, you could do it, right? I mean, I'm sure I didn't have anything special to be standing here. I was just a student of this college. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for that incredibly inspiring talk. Your journey is a powerful example for every student here, and you make RVCE truly proud. Up next, we have one of the most anticipated segments of today's program, the pitches by our esteemed Berlin startup delegates.
These innovators bring remarkable ideas and expertise from Berlin's dynamic startup ecosystem. We are honored to host our international guests and will do our very best with all the pronunciations. Please join us in giving them a warm welcome.
Let's begin with our first Berlin startup, Formly AI, represented by Severin Vogel.
Good morning. I hope you can hear me well. Is that fine? Yeah. Okay. I'm very honored to be here. Quite excited. It's great to see such a room of young aspiring entrepreneurs, soon to be engineers, and many more things seen in front of me. And so I'm from a company called Formly AI, and we help companies with their medical device certification. So that's something that might not be super familiar with you, and I'm sure you guys think more about the products you might want to build or the solutions you can bring to this country, but maybe also to many other countries in this world. And we generally want to support you guys with doing that. And unfortunately, there are things that you also have to take care along the route when you bring products that save people's lives to the market, because you have to make sure these products are actually safe to use and really help people rather than harming them, right? So what we do is we help people get their medical devices certified in Europe and in the US, but we also plan to go global with that. And so we do that. We don't have a pitch deck, right? Okay, yeah. We do that by basically employing AI. We're in the business of basically using AI to replace knowledge work. And we built a set of agents that help you build out a lot of like unnecessary, not unnecessary, but like like burdensome documentation that you have to prepare when you want to get your devices ready for the market, right? And the problem historically is that in order to get your devices ready for the markets, you don't know really what you want to do and how you're supposed to do it, how you bring it to the market and so on. And then the first thing you do is you talk to a consultant probably. And these consultants then come to you, and if we talk about the European or US market, they will probably tell you that it will cost you, I don't know, $200,000, $300,000, and often the prices start really skyrocketing when you want to bring your product there, right? And by utilizing AI, we can do a lot of the work that consultants are doing, and therefore like allow you to do things that before weren't really possible, right? And So what we do is we have like a platform where you can get help by our experts, but then also by AI to get help to figure out, okay, how do I bring my product to market? What's the strategy? What is my risk class? How do I compare to other devices on the market? How do I do my testing? How do I do my clinical trials? I don't want to like bother you too much with these things, because I think, like I said, you're probably more thinking about the actual product that you build, but these are all the things that you still have to think about at the end of the day, right? And we help you with like figuring that out in a very fast way, right? Because for us, it's all about speed. As founders, you are dependent on bringing your products to market fast, right? That's all that matters. You want to bring helpful and safe products to market fast, because you have a race against the time. You get hopefully funding by investors, government grants, or interested individuals that want to support you. And you then probably start off in a small team, or you have a few employees that help you build these products. And your constraint is cash. And one thing you cannot afford is running out of time. So it matters that you bring your product to market fast, so that you can start generating revenue. And that's the one unfortunate thing when you build medical devices, and I hope you all consider doing that. I know there's like many challenges you can solve, but medical devices is something that is also very impactful, helps a lot of people. The problem there is that before you get to market, you have to prove the certification first, and that can take, if done badly, more than a year, right? So you're basically developing your product. And then you're prepared for certification, and if it takes you a year, that basically means you're missing out on a year on revenue, right? Or if you make mistakes along the line and you get basically a rejection, for instance, from like the governing bodies in the US, the FDA, or similar in the EU, this might be a huge setback for you, right? So you want to move fast, and you can't allow for mistakes, right? And so we build a platform that allows you both. And the key idea here is, and I think I also want to encourage you all think about that when you build products with AI, that you can't just say AI is like the helper for everything, right? And just like blindly employ it in your products, or deploy it to your products, thinking that it will work perfectly, right? We learned that more or less the hard way, and what we figured out along the road is that we need to make sure that whenever we use the help of AI and employ them in our products, we then also have like experts that are able to like judge what the outcome of the output of the AI just that is like given to you, right? So in our context, what we do, for instance, we allow people to like go through the preparation of their medical products, but we then have experts that always review along the journey whether like our customers are right on track for that, right? And that is just like one example in our case, but I can only encourage you to also like think about when you build these products, what are the like fallback mechanisms? How can you make sure that whatever is like produced by a non-deterministic system like AI, so that when it actually produces results, that these are results that you can trust them. And having humans in the loop, experts, is one very important thing, and that's what we do. So. That's a brief introduction about our company. Maybe as a last word, I can only encourage you also to think, focus on safe products, focus on, I guess like already mentioned, focus on new products that help people, that make a general impact, focus on moving fast, making them safe, but then also think global. I think we've seen over the last couple days that you have a great market here. You have room for so many solutions and challenges that you can solve here. And I think you can grow very, very big about India. One thing I learned is that it's a market of scale. And I think that's one very exciting thing. You can build big companies here. But I want to also encourage you to think global, because the things you build here that help people here will, I think, also help people everywhere else. That applies in Europe, that applies in the US, that applies to Australia. So whenever you, for instance, work on medical devices, don't be discouraged and think that it's too hard to go global and maybe nobody wants your solution somewhere else. That's not the case. And I think, especially now with like the products that we offer, but also the support you get from all the great people here, it's definitely becoming much easier and much more achievable. So keep that in mind. Whenever you build great products, let the world participate, and I hope we see a lot of like great products out of you guys.
Thank you. Our next startup is Nuri, represented by Amrut Shankar.
So can you hear me? Perfect. So I'll start with simple words as Ellarigu Namaskara. So perfect, that's really better for me. So I'm a bit nervous because 20 years ago I was in the same place in a different university in Bangalore. So I know the feeling what you're facing. So right now I'm also living in Berlin for 2 decades. Also teaching at TU Berlin University, also mentoring over 200 startups there. But here today I'm with Nuri, which is a AI-based startup, which I founded with my German co-founder, Theresia. So what we do here is, how many of you know that India is actually going through a really health crisis, especially diabetic type 2, cardiovascular issues, and hypertension? How many of you know or are aware of this? That's really great. So in Germany, we are sitting there and deciding like there are 1 in 3 person in India are already facing this issue by the age of 25. And also it might increase by age of 20 in next 5 to 6 years. And I'm a big backpacker. I love traveling. So I'm also a CrossFit. I don't think anybody knows about CrossFit. If you know, it's good. I'm also kickboxing. I do athlete a lot. So during my travel in India last year, I found out I went to Pune, I went to Chikmagalur, Bidar, all these places. It's so funny that nobody knows about what is health. But COVID helped everybody to understand how much important health is. So people are taking care of them. But they don't know about nutrition. For example, I talked to some of even my cousins and everything. Whatever they eat outside is unhealthy, whatever they eat in home is healthy. Even though it's really oily food and everything, that's healthy for them. So the concept of it is really confusing to everybody. So they say like, whatever I eat at home, it's good. Even though they do the same thing, but it's not the case. So what we are doing is like, we are building an AI-powered voice first, because I'm sure there are many people not from this state, from other state also speak other languages also. So I always say like India lives in like thousands of realities. You don't have one specific reality here. So that's why it's really difficult to crack India and provide this issue. So we are building a hyper-personalized voice first, which speaks in your own mother tongue, in own cultural background, provides you a plan for the 7 days fitness workouts, and also it provides a nutrition, what you need to follow. And we are focusing on not the cities like tier 1 cities like Bangalore, Mumbai. We are actually focusing on tier 2 plus cities. So we want to make health as a lifestyle to everyone without any economical issues. So we are more of a freemium model. So we want to guide them so that how to take care of our health, and we also targeting of the women, because of course women is the caretaker of everybody's family and everyone, and also they are the inspiration for kids also. So if that's why it's also a multiplier. So we want to reach this one as high as possible so that we can make the health as a system. So we are everywhere. So we want to reach as many possible person. So it's really good opportunity, and also we are also welcome if anybody wants to be part of in our vision. You can also join us. So we also trying to build a subsidiary in Bangalore, or actually Mysore. So we also want to get out of Bangalore because I don't like Bangalore traffic somehow. Like, I don't think so. Probably Shankar. I think the name Shankar, last name is always like entrepreneur skills comes in picture. But I also say like 20 years ago, Bangalore traffic was not like that. I could come to RV college within like span of like 20 minutes, 15 minutes by bike, because I was playing cricket in here, and RV college, we were the competitors. So we were always playing that one. So that's why also it's also good to expand your startup. I also suggest that try to focus on other cities also, because that model I also learned in Germany especially. They don't focus everything in one big cities like Munich or Frankfurt or anything. They actually expand, so the population also expands into different cities, and although other cities also can grow economically. So I always encourage to look into that aspect to see what are the opportunities you have in other cities, so that don't become very difficult for this managing the cities also. So you should have that mindset also, what you're doing. And also big fan of sustainability. So I love sustainability, not just when you build a startup, don't just think about economical sustainability. Okay, I can make this much of money, revenue and everything. Please also think about environmental and societal sustainability. How your business could impact those two factors also, irrespective. Because I was discussing with my German colleagues also, like whenever people say Tesla is one of the sustainable product in the world, but don't know when you go backside, production is not that sustainable also. So you need to make sure that from your ground reality, from the base of your startup, you have the sustainability. So last words for my side is like, you're in a right situation. We didn't have that 20 years ago, 23 years ago, we didn't have that like ecosystem in Bangalore or anywhere to think that big, but you have that system, utilize the system. It's really awesome. And also think more of an entrepreneur's mindset. As I said, as one of them said, like 3,000 people in a line. I think I was also one of the person 20 years ago standing in the line. But then I realized it doesn't make any sense to stand, but be an innovator, try to figure out what's the problem you can see in the ground. I believe in like when you just come from metro, just look at the people, how they behave. Your market is already there, so you can just crack one of the problem there. So most of them do that. So I would suggest think in this direction, and I think you will be successful in this one. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Up next, we have Resist team, represented by Invocation.
Hi, hope you can all hear me. First of all, I'm very honored, and thank you everyone. Mainly like Principal Sir and Katka and Vishnu for arranging this. I was a very recent graduate, like 2019, so I would say like I'm more closer to you guys when it comes to like, you know, in life more. But yeah, I'm actually representing Resistine. It's an AI-based cybersecurity product. So when it comes to cybersecurity, I just have one question, right? I just have a question for all of you guys, like anyone can answer. Have you heard of this recent incident with, one is AWS, and then there's with Jaguar. Anyone knows what happened with Jaguar? Anyone can answer if they would like to. Or even AWS, someone said. Yeah, one is the server shut down. But what happens during these times, right? Like if you take Jaguar, they lost almost 50 million per week, right? So generally cybersecurity is something which people react to, but being proactive in cybersecurity becomes very difficult, right? Why is it very difficult? Because you need to crunch a lot of data, you need to, you know, a lot of time is being spent on detecting anomalies through manual work, but then you really don't know which causes the problem, And cybersecurity is more like chess, right? Like the adversaries are trying to flip your king and then you are trying to protect yourself. Either you need to do a checkmate first or keep saving your king as much as possible. So it's very similar to chess, right? So that's where AI comes in to action. So in in Resistine, we have built a system which has multiple endpoints. Endpoints are like software you have in multiple devices, and it crunches data, and the AI is able to look for signatures and predict patterns and then protect the company system. It's not like 100% foolproof, but then you are at least using AI, because today the adversaries are also using AI, and that becomes that puts us in need for companies also to start using AI in cybersecurity. So yeah, that's for Resistine. But when I want to talk to, or if I have to give my 2 cents for students, I would say from my experience, I was selling, like I was actually partnering with I was helping a beer company sell beer while I was in college. It was a German-based beer company, and I was selling beer, and it was one of the most the most I've learned through experience, right? And then that helped me a lot in life, that I would say, and that also translated into much more things. And college is when you can experiment, not just in terms of career, but also in other ways, to really understand what are our skill set, what we are really good at, and also what we really don't want to do. So this is the time we can really experiment, and I would say be on toes and experiment as much as possible, because you will never get the same time again. And yeah, I think that's it from my end. Thank you so much again. I'm really honored. Yes, sir. My Berlin office? Okay. So I'll just give you a sense about how I ended up in Berlin. I've been I'm basically born and brought up in Chennai, and I have been working in Bangalore for the last 3 years for another company called Teleport, which recently got acquired. But yeah, how I ended up in Berlin was I went there as a tourist to meet my friend. I was there for 2-3 months, and then I met the founder who was trying to expand in Asia, and we really vibed, and we really had the vibe with each other. And then we decided that he decided that I can help him with expanding in Asia, and that's how I'm helping the company. So what is key when it comes to also finding interesting opportunities is network as much as possible, find as many people. I think you have an amazing ground here, like the college itself is providing you an amazing playground where they are bringing people from all over the world for you. So I would say networking is key, and you will find just appearing for interviews and just applying for applications through LinkedIn or any other job portal is not the only way, but you can actually crack it through many other ways. And yeah, that's the answer, sir. Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you. Our next startup is Cone Labs, represented by Sid Konetti and Satvik Pachnila.
Thank you, guys. It's been an honor to be here, and thanks for Katka for bringing us all the way from Berlin to here, and thanks for the great college here. I'm so jealous of you in the first place that when I was an engineer, like a normal student back then in Andhra, we did not have this much of a facility. So in that sense, I'm kind of jealous of you, but in a good way. So I'm Sid, originally from India. I've been in Europe for the last 15 years. We started a startup, it's Cone Labs. What we do is we built an intelligent layer for hardware that is specifically monitoring food supply chain. So think it like a smart refrigerator. How many of you have refrigerators? I believe everyone, right? So you have a smart refrigerator at home. In the business B2B side, there are so many big refrigerators that keeps the products fresh. So for example, the apples that you eat today probably not harvested yesterday or day before yesterday. They might have harvested a year ago. So they actually goes into the storage, people keep it fresh, and if something goes wrong, all the product goes to wastage. So we use smart systems that monitors all these storages to keep the products fresh, and also consumes less energy. So currently we run our pilot in Germany, which is a good ground, and that's also where we got the funding from, thanks to Berlin Senate, who also gave me a scholarship to go there, and that's how I ended up in Berlin. Otherwise, I have no other interests. Regarding suggestions to students, I don't have many suggestions. I was like a student like you back then, and I can only repeat what my professors or people recommended me. It's more like be honest and curious in whatever thing that you do, and be cautious about the feedback that you get. The more interesting aspect is, I was told that feedback is like a pigeon shit. So everyone can come and drop it, but you have to have an eye to pick up a gold nugget in it. Yeah? So I must end saying thanks to Mr. Ganesh here, which almost recommended every aspect or reminding every aspect of what is more important for an entrepreneur and what is more important in a business. Thank you so much, Ganesh, for reminding. Thank you.
Thank you to all the startups for those insightful and inspiring presentations. It is incredible to witness global innovation right here at RVCE. Now, we turn our attention to the entrepreneurial spirit within our own campus. RVCE is actively working to strengthen homegrown innovation through its MSME Incubation Center and Entrepreneurship Cell, with a vision to support students in transforming ideas into ventures.
To share more about these initiatives and the roadmap ahead, we now invite Dr. Nanjundaradya NV to address the audience and shed light on the MSME Incubation Center at RVCE.
A very good morning, one and all present here. I am Dr. Nanjundaradya, working as a professor in the Department of Mechanical Engineering Department since from 2000. And this RVCE has got MSME, Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Incubation Center in the year 2022 as host institution under our head of institution and beloved principal Dr. K.N. Subramanya, fostering innovation and entrepreneurship under the banner of MSME, Government of India, New Delhi. The main aim was to avail the infrastructure facilities for the ideas which bears the potential of the betterment of the society through support innovative technology and transform them into commercially viable venture. MSME yearly calls for ideas under different themes, namely agriculture, healthcare, power, service, then Prime Minister Vishwakarma 18 Trades, Frontier Technology in MSME, Export Enhancement, Sustainable Development. Till date, we have conducted 3 MSME Idea Hackathons evaluations successfully with more than 100 incubatees. Incubatees in the sense applicants. The applicants can be student applicant or incubatee, any MSME startup incubatee and others. Incubatees applying their ideas, out of which under Idea Hackathon 3 was mainly focused for women to support their ideas. Around 50 ideas have been qualified in total, out of which 4 projects, ideas have been successfully approved with funding of 15 lakhs per idea, summing with a total of 16 lakhs funding. And that ideas namely which were approved under this Idea Hackathon 3 and Idea Hackathon Pro are, so the first under Idea Hackathon 3, the title of that idea is a peptide based aptamer kit for rapid detection of Microbacterium tuberculosis, and this idea approved to one of the incubating Dr. Vidya Niranjan under healthcare sector. The second idea, Dr. Soumya Nag, and the title of his our idea is development of automated detection and grading of cashew kernels using AI approach. Okay, and the third idea under this MSME idea hackathon, 3 women is Srimati Shailaja under healthcare sector. The title of his idea is web-based B2B marketplace web app for telemedicine solutions. So total worth of 45 lakhs we have received under Idea Hackathon 4. Later under Idea Hackathon 4, one of my student incubating has approved funding of worth of 15 lakhs, and now that student is studying in presently 7th semester electronics and communication engineering, and his name is Shreyas Aradhya. So, and his idea is title of that idea is AI driven automation for high precision defect detection in rubber seal production under frontier technology in MSME theme, because there were some 4 to 5 themes they have called under MSME idea hackathon 4. Okay, so this Shreyas Aradhya idea is approved under frontier technology in MSME sector. And also I am very glad to share with you all that RVC has also qualified for setting up the machineries, software applications and infrastructure worth of rupees 1 crore for supporting towards research and development of the ideas under MSME. So we are under processing that method, okay, getting that fund of 1 crore worth towards machinery, equipments and software. Okay. So looking forward supporting these new ventures for creating a meaningful impact. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity provided for sharing this MSME, RVC MSME Incubation Center. Thank you, Ananda.
Thank you, sir, for shedding light on these exciting developments and the future of student entrepreneurship at RVCE. Your insights are truly encouraging. Continuing the momentum, our next guest has been instrumental in guiding students towards excellence and helping them realize their full potential. Please welcome Dr. Rangnath D., Dean of Placement and Training, RVCE.
Good afternoon to everyone. Dignitaries on the dais and my dear students aimed at entrepreneurship in future, the opportunity given to them, and also the CEOs of the startups in Germany. I do take this opportunity to thank Dr. Nataraj for giving this opportunity to share some of the experiences undergone in the placement department to encourage our students to work for startup organizations as well. Look at the startup as a career path to become an employer than an employee. So talk about the first agenda that, what are the benefits the students will get if they join an organization and the startup category. So in RVC, around 30% of the organization visiting us to recruit a student there from startup category. And these companies provides an opportunity for our students to work for. And those students who joined the organization had an excellent feedback about their contribution to the growth of the organization. So a lot of benefits to work for a startup. So you have flexible environment to work for. So nothing like a fixed agenda, a fixed position in the organization to work. So based on your expertise, experience, and day-to-day learning, you can guide the organization for its growth. On many occasions, your contribution to the organization will have greater impact on the success of the organization. Apart from that, you'll have a learning opportunity and a good growth prospectus. Each day is learning day for you because you come across a lot of challenges in the day-to-day activities, and to overcome those challenges, you become innovative doing the work culture. Because to solve those challenges, you should have ideas. Ideas will be generated each day. So each day is a challenging day, and each day is a learning day for your growth. Since the startup organization is a small setup with a minimum number of employees in the beginning, so we'll have a greater opportunity to network with each other to contribute to the organization. Your say will become a valid in the organization. To join an organization with a good number of employees, your contribution will be recognized. Whereas in startup with a small group, your contribution will be recognized for its growth. Hence, you'll have an opportunity to collaborate and network with the entire team. And next advantages is like you become a owner of the organization, apart from not an employee, because the organization recruits the students in startup category. They also offer stocks to the organization. The students, the employees. So when you receive the stock, definitely you are one of the owner of the organization. Definitely that will motivate to work the better and the faster. I said already, each day is a challenging day for our contribution in the organization. So you learn the technology on day-to-day basis. Now is the era of change is constant, also in technology apart from business. So now when such case, you start thinking all the time which is better technology to adopt and better business strategy for the growth of organization. And next advantage is we have flexibility and autonomy in the organization. I said in the beginning, since small group, so there is nothing like fixed work or a fixed timing. Sometimes you have to work 24/7, sometimes you have a break for long. And also you learn something from the organization to think about your future, your prospects as an employer. After working for some time in the organization as an employee, then you can start your own organization that will help you to become an employer and think about your future growth. And another advantage what we saw and what the feedback is from the students working in the startup organization, you have an faster advancement in your career growth, which may take more time in the normal organization. Because somebody has to recognize your effort, somebody has to appreciate your effort, and then only you have an organization that is better in the startup than the normal organization. So these are the benefits the students would get. We prefer to work for an organization which is in startup category, and these are advantages you would come across. And again, you want to become a owner of the organization and the startup category. Currently, the support mechanism is great. Earlier it was not so. Maybe you talk about become an entrepreneur 5 years or 10 years back. Definitely you have to struggle a lot to find out an idea, to find out finance support, to find out the support of the government setups. So all of that little complex. But currently the environment is so great that anybody can become a owner of the organization by starting their own setup. But here the challenge is like you should have an urge for the success and the growth. It's not that 9 to 5 job. It's not that every month end you get salary to your account. Nothing. That concept you have to forget and put your effort. Definitely with a constant effort and contribution to organization, your organization would become successful. So with this, a few comments from my side based on my experience at the welfare department. I wish everyone sitting here to become an entrepreneur in future after graduation. Once again, I thank the organization committee for giving this opportunity to share my experience. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir, for your words of encouragement and for continuous efforts in supporting and motivating the students of RVCE. Next, we have with us Mr. Nikhil A. Murthy, the Assistant Secretary of the Rashtriya Shikshana Samiti Trust. He will be sharing valuable insights on the various initiatives undertaken by RSST to foster and strengthen entrepreneurship within RVCE. We're truly honored to have him with us today to shed light on how the Trust continues to empower innovation and nurture young entrepreneurs on our campus.
Ladies and gentlemen on the desk, off the desk, my dear students, faculty, parents, everyone else. For those of you who know German, guten Morgen. For those of you who don't, very good morning. I think many of you will know that Berlin is one of the top 3 destinations for startups as we speak, one of the top 3 destinations in Europe. And at a very broad level, if I could summarize, it would probably be because of these 3 criteria or these 3 areas. One is obviously the entrepreneurial ecosystem or environment that it provides. Second is talent and diversity. And lastly is the access to funding. So if I could use the same criteria to sort of give you some insights into what not only RVCE but the rest of the institutions within our group and what we're trying to do within these. One is, if I look at the environment and the ecosystem itself, one is the physical infrastructure, right? I think about 7 years ago itself, we had set up a Mateen Irfan Incubation Center within this campus. But because of lack of space and all the other infra work that's going on, it's currently being used for some other purpose. But once the other buildings are ready, we'll revert to sort of making that building exclusively the center for, people with various ideas and startup ideas that would want to use that space. So I think we'll resort to making that, taking it back to a startup space itself. Other kinds of infra are obviously providing the best tools and equipments, 3D printers, software. We also have various centers of excellence in collaboration with industry leaders. And I think as students and as an institution, we take great pride in sort of being able to have access to that. But apart from these infrastructural aspects, there are a lot of softer aspects that you need to promote and to really create an environment that is helpful for entrepreneurs. And that could be like hosting workshops that, on topics such as, product development or other non-core aspects that would, are really of importance. For example, everyone thinks having a great idea and trying to get that out to market is what will make a startup work. But most founders tend to forget that financial literacy, cash flow management, and other aspects are also very crucial in making your startup successful. The other thing is promoting an atmosphere where, student-led clubs and initiatives are given importance. It's great to see that the students from the Entrepreneurship cell are leading today's event. So creating more platforms where students are given that initiative is again something that we as management are working hard on. The other thing is many ideas obviously require collaborative effort. And as an institution, it's great that we have 13 plus disciplines. So I encourage all of you to leverage on your friends and colleagues in the other departments to really make your idea successful. The other aspect is obviously coming into talent and diversity. As a group, we are 85 plus years old, and RV College of Engineering itself is 60 plus years old. Top 100 in India and probably number 1 in Karnataka. But that doesn't mean, we're basking in that glory. We need to get better, so we're working hard on improving quality and other aspects. And the last one is obviously providing access to mentorship and funding. So we did launch a platform called Inventex, where all of you could post your ideas and faculty would evaluate them and also connect you to alumni of our institution, probably in those specific industries, and they can provide you, mentorship and sort of guide you. But the other important aspect is funding itself. I think over the last many years, we had found it hard for our tax and audit consultants to give us a go-ahead, but finally, earlier this month, we have set up a Section 8 company, and that opens up, avenues to receive grants and other funds from not only government, but also CSR funds from corporates and obviously alumni of our institution that are willing to fund various startups. So these are some of the developments that have happened and some of the aspects that we as management are continuously working on. So our chief guest Ganesh obviously mentioned that his first business idea was a success and he got his money back in 6 months. But everyone won't be that lucky. I think as people, as society and as a community, if we learn to celebrate failure as much as we celebrate success, that will be a great starting point to encourage more youngsters like yourselves to take up entrepreneurship. So that's one small piece of advice that I just want to give all of you before ending. Thank you so much and wishing each of you all the best.
Thank you, sir, for that inspiring speech. It is our honor to welcome the academic and strategic leader of our institution. We now invite Dr. K.N. Subramania, Principal of RV College of Engineering, to address the gathering.
Namaskara. We started in the morning, it's almost good afternoon now. So let me welcome all the guests in the dais and off the dais for being here this morning. I think this is going to become a culture in future in the college to see that the youngsters get more opportunity and the exposure of such things, whatever is happening in the world. So I'll guarantee that. But only thing is how well you take it is very important from your side. So while many of the entrepreneurs here have shared their success stories, I think it's not so easy. I think many would not have shared their failure stories actually. They would have seen more failures than the success would have come. So don't just jump into conclusion that okay, tomorrow I can start. Other day we had two co-founders of Mindtree, Parthasarthi and KK, and they were telling that entrepreneurship is a lonely journey because whatever good, bad, ugly, I think you're supposed to face in the beginning. Then all these things are going to happen. So keeping that in mind, when the aspirations are very high, if you want to meet the passion, it's not so easy because you have to be grounded also. There are a lot of fundamentals as a student you are supposed to learn if you want to do all those things, because there is something called the ratio called 300:30:1. So ideas, 300 ideas is going to become only 30 prototypes and only one good product is going to come out of that. So that means it's not that whatever you do, just as an idea, it may not be very good because you need a lot of perseverance to go in that direction. So I feel that that could be learned in the college. And as Nikhil was telling that we will be having a Section 8 company for which we are studying for a lot of time, where we could not have all our entrepreneurs who have passed out of this college. We could not host them here in the college because we didn't have Section 8 company. Now that is going to come. I think we can also officially give the address of RV College of Engineering. All these years we were not in a position to do that. In fact, those were all very good in searching the social media. You can go back and look into Crunchbase. One of the sites where they look into all the starts of different places. If you just look into it, we have 178 companies started by RV alumni across the world. Fine. So RV has actually an entrepreneurial culture. It has not been built today. You may give different names of startup and other things, but after 1960s and 70s, if you look into the history, because placement was not there in campuses in 60s, 70s and 80s. It all started somewhere in 1990s. After that 200, now it has become a big exercise altogether. More than academics, placement has become a very good, important exercise in the campuses. But when the employment opportunities were not there, the most important branches like civil and mechanical, if you look into anybody who has passed out from RV college, particularly civil engineering, which was very popular. You go to any Andhra and Telangana, the students used to come to our college for civil engineering. They're all very, very big builders. today in whole of the state, and they are also in fact coming to Karnataka also. So in that way, I always have this conflict. If I say my placement is 100%, so that means my entrepreneurship is 0. So how do I balance these two is very important. Fine. So we try to now encourage startups also to be taken. Anyway, if you join startup also, again it's employment only. We consider that as an employment. So not as a startup. So how do you do this? Is a very tricky question, because we may say hundreds of people may say a lot of things here, but at the end of the day, you should have a passion to do things. That is internal to individuals. How much ever external motivation you give, if you don't have that internal motivation of achieving something, then it won't happen. It will go to something, because I have also seen many youngsters who are very passionate, aspirational, move for 2 years and again they join a company. So that is because you are not internally convinced about that. So I think you should have a good conviction, and it is a hard path. You should try to take that and move in that direction. It's a beautiful path also actually, because nobody would have ventured, whereas all the other services of software, everybody has already ventured. So that may be an easier path. So it needs a lot of conviction. As a society, if you take up to 2010, up to 2015, up to 2020 also you can take. I think the ecosystem, social system in India, in particularly cities, is your parents will not allow you to do a startup. I think there's a fundamental stigma, social stigma we have, which nobody wants to talk. Actually, I think the people who have come through all these stages also will have that problem in the beginning. Parents may not allow you to do it. But now I think after COVID, everybody has realized, and it has become so global now, that okay, there are a lot of different paths. There are a lot of different paths. I think my son or daughter can take it. I think they have come to that level now. But if you ask them the money, they'll say, no, sorry, we don't have money. So that is the stage we are into, many of these startups, at least in this part of the country. But now, there are a lot of angel investors, lot of money would be invested. So money is not an important issue now in the market. But your idea, converting a prototype, making it a product and scalable in the business is a journey by itself, Because putting an idea into a prototype or a practice or developing a software itself will take a lot of time. But then will it be accepted? I always keep telling in marketing class that you make a product and try to sell to your people in your house first. Will they buy that product? I think it starts from there, because they will be the best, they will give the best feedback to you. Your mother may be the best for that. She may not have done a startup, but ask her, she'll give hundreds of ideas. Fine? Do you really work on those lines or not? I am not sure. So please see around you, take the help of the people, because individual may not know all the things. So I think that's where the whole concept of interdisciplinarity has come now. A mechanical engineer can join with an electronics engineer and you can do things. Don't think, I will only do everything. I think that will be one of the most foolish things we can do. Fine? It's not so easy because it's so interdisciplinary today. If you take a car, you have 40 to 50% electronics today. So in that way, you need a lot of ecosystem, the development, try to get network. You say, 3 Indians, 3 Japanese, 3 Germans join together and do a work. It is similar. But an Indian, a Japanese and a German join together and does a work, the result is much more than doing in a homogeneity. I think that has been proved in teamwork. Okay, heterogeneity brings best in the people. And no need to again research on that. So it's already available. So try to get the people who have a different kind of a, let us say you're an engineer, you want a finance manager, take them. Somebody is good in marketing, you take them. You take all engineers together, I think still the ideas will be the same only. Still all of you may fail. So please have this kind of a broader approach. I always give an example. The Leaning Tower of Pisa, the original idea of that has not come from an engineer, an architect. It has come from a historian. So ideas can come from anywhere. It need not be only engineers get the best idea. Non-engineers may get the better engineering ideas. So please try to keep that in mind and try to work. And you have a good ecosystem in the college. We'll try to bring some more into as a part of your credit, as a part of your experience or learning. We want to start very early and try to do things. In fact, let us say you are not in a position to do a startup. It doesn't matter actually. So when you go to the company also, you are an entrepreneur. So you may not be an extrapreneur, an entrepreneur. There also there will be a lot of innovation which people will be looking for. So I think you can try to I think that's what Ganesh and everybody has done. They joined the companies in the beginning, they come out and they have done good. So So that is also a good experience. So don't jump into saying that, okay, from tomorrow only I will do it. If you are capable of doing, have a good ecosystem, you can start. Otherwise, you can still work in a company for some time, try to know how the whole system works, and then you can still become you can start a startup venture. Fine? So please keep fundamentals right. I always keep saying that being an employee is more easier because somebody is going to take responsibility. If you want to become an employer, you have to be more disciplined. Okay? So timing is not there. As an employee, I can see, okay, 9 to 5, I can see the watch. But as a owner, you can't see the watch. Fine? So it's not so easy. So first you should build fundamental discipline in you, fundamental ethics in you. If you try to look into any of the unethical practices, looking, I want to make more money quickly in the beginning, I think such startups are not there. Let me tell you. I think a lot of ethics would be needed because any company is a startup. Google also started in Stanford University. I think there will be a lot of principles, standards, ethics. All these things play a very important role, which are not taught anywhere actually. These are all the things, a value system you are supposed to develop as an entrepreneur. And of course the technology, you have all ChatGPTs today. Don't think you have solution in ChatGPT itself. Okay, if there is a solution, I think we would have the success rate of startups in Bangalore is almost around 7 to 10% only. What about 90%? If ChatGPT can give answers, this also would have become startups, no? No. So don't think everything is given by ChatGPTs. So it can give a initial information to you. It's just an information for you. It is your intelligence to convert that into knowledge, knowledge into wisdom, wisdom into enterprise. I think it's left to the individuals. Okay? You are all born, in fact, as somebody was telling, we are jealous of you actually because we didn't have any such kinds of things. But today, the kind of opportunity you have, the kind of things which have been provided either by the government or in the institutions is very, very huge. If you do a startup in RV college, you have other advantage, like say, we have all the kinds of softwares available, we have all the kinds of equipments which is needed for fabrication, characterization. So, at no cost, you can use all these facilities actually. So, whereas if you go outside, I think you may not have experimental facilities. So, that's an advantage of being a startup, particularly high-tech, deep-tech startups. In an engineering college, that's the advantage you have. So, I request all of you who are interested, so please you can come back. I think I request ED Cell to have such kinds of things from time to time. And see that we try to nurture the people here and try to see you all do well. I think Ganesh is one such example you have seen. Recent times, I think some of you may know, other 4 to 5 kind of startups which are very, very popular. The Prime Minister of the country has quoted all these people. Other one is Trashcon by Niveda, who is a chemical engineer for the waste segregation. And we have Digantara. So he is the first person actually in the country to do a Google for the space. So he runs a map, a visualization of all the online real-time satellites tracking he is doing. And he is in the hit list of a lot of people actually, ISRO, NASA, UNO, Prime Minister's office. Recently he had a dinner with the Japanese Prime Minister also. I think Modi had called him. It's a beautiful thing. He is working with ISRO also. So like that, other is Digantara. In fact, if you go a long time back, maybe in 2000s when softwares were in boom, there was one person called Arun Murthy. So he started a company called Heart & Works. Fine, he was the first person in the Silicon Valley in USA to do a $4 million business as a startup. So I think there is a good culture here in the college. So only thing is, you have to nurture yourself with all the kind of facilities, whatever is available. And then we want all of you to be happy and do very well. And at the end of the day, I think social innovation is the one which is very important. Whatever you are doing is not for just your personal benefit alone. Can you give back something to the society so that everybody, mobile is a beautiful example for that. UPI is a good example for that. Whole society is going to use all those kinds of products. So can you be a part of that? Just trigger in the mind, take help of the people, and it is possible. Anybody sitting in this hall, it is possible. But only thing is, you have to be grounded. Will you want to meet the aspirations? I think you always fly, it will not happen. You have to be grounded on some fundamental principles, value systems, the technology, what you are supposed to learn, then it is going to happen. I hope you are all very smart generation. You will try to understand all these things in a better way and try to do good for yourself and to the society, whatever possible. Once again, thanking all of you for being here. Hope we will have such a kind of facilities and these functions organized from the college side so that all of you get benefit out of it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your motivating words and for continuously supporting entrepreneurial initiatives at RVCE.
As we approach the conclusion of the formal proceedings, it is important to express our gratitude to everyone who made this event possible.
It is now my privilege to invite Dr. K.S. Geeta, Vice Principal of RV College of Engineering, to deliver the vote of thanks and formally conclude today's proceedings with her words of gratitude and appreciation.
Good afternoon. As we draw a close, I have the distinct pleasure of offering the vote of thanks for what has been a truly power-packed session where we are exploring the innovation, entrepreneurship and global career paths. Now, I think we have heard from quite a good amount of people here. Most of you can connect to them because, as you see, they are all at their 30s or maybe slightly in the same decade. So that is a place where they can connect, and they have told you their journey, how they started. And I think you're all privileged that you have an opportunity to have them on a single forum where you can discuss with them and try to see whether everybody's ideas could be converted. Now, today's world, as Principal rightly pointed out, that there is no dearth for the new ideas, because that is the fantasized word which every youngsters of your age would be, that every day you will be getting a new idea. So you ask them, yeah, today I have an idea. So tomorrow, yeah, this may not be a good idea, let me have another idea. So the ideas keeps propping up. And how do you distinguish whether which one should be pitched in and which one should be nurtured upon, which one should be made grown so that it actually gives you some outcome out of it. So as Ganesh rightly pointed out, that at that time that was not a fantasized idea. The gig concept itself was very new. But today, with the explosion of information, everybody wants to do everything. So we don't know, we are so confused that what is correct and what is not correct, which is the path over which you have to traverse, and whether it is going to give you some destination or not, nobody knows that one. And to add up to this one, definitely social media and the reality shows like Shark Tank and so many avenues are giving you a lot of ideas every day. Everybody gives you a success story or their failure story, but still they are the stories. Until and unless you experience them, it cannot be turned into a story. So the idea here is whether you have to have that the inbuilt passion as to how you have to nurture your ideas and how you have to grow them and see that it could actually give you some outcome of that. So maybe today it was the right opportunity for you all to meet all these people and to get to know their experiences and to share your experiences so that it could be converted. So let's give a very big round of applause for this particular event, which has given you an opportunity for you to exchange your thoughts and ideas. So in one statement, let me say that the degree from RVCE, what you get would be a passport, and the skills what you gain in entrepreneurship and innovation would be your currency of tomorrow. So make use of this currency and with your passport so that it takes you a long way to go in your life. Now, it's my sincere pleasure to thank the individuals who have truly embodied the spirit of the global innovation and community. Our chief guest and our proud alumnus, Mr. Ganesh Shankar. I think I would be talking to you very oftenly, but here you have stated your journey from RVCE to become a trailblazer in water tech and sustainability, and it's a truly inspiration. As a founder of FluxGen and Sustainability Mafia, I think you did not mention about this. And having built a solid AirPro 2 Z-View, he represents the highest achievement of the technical skill fused with the entrepreneurial grit. So we are especially thankful that despite your incredible busy schedule, I know that you are the LinkedIn top voice and you have been here and you have shared your journey and the experiences, and it is truly motivational that you are taking RVCE to next level both nationally and internationally. So we extend our deepest gratitude to our guests who have traveled from Berlin, bringing the energy and insights of one of the world's most vibrant startup capitals. So I'm representing all the startup from Berlin, people who have come here. You have shared your experiences, and you have also shown that, because most of you are from Indian origin, you have shown that there is a way for all our Indian students, not only nationally but internationally as well, you can make up a place. So thank you very much for joining us here today. So, yeah, of course. We have with us Ms. Katka Nagyova, sorry if I am spelling you wrong, Chief Product Officer from Betahaus X. Thank you very much. I would request Nikhil to do the honors for them. We have with us Mr. Vishnu Nataraj and Alia Davis, co-founders, CEOs from Carve Startup Labs. Thank you very much for coming over here. I would request our principal to do the honors for them. I would request Dr. Rangnath to do the honors for the founders from Berlin. Yeah, you. So we sincerely thank our Additional Secretary, RSSD, Mr. Nikhil Murthy, for his continuous encouragement and commitment for promoting the global exposure and the industry relevance. We also extend our heartfelt thanks to Principal Dr. K.N. Subramania, whose dedication ensures that RVCE constantly pushes the boundaries of academic excellence and bringing in the spirit of entrepreneurship. So this special acknowledgement goes to the driving forces beyond to organize this particular event. It is the Dean Global Partnership, Dr. Nataraj, whose efforts and international connections were instrumental in bringing the Berlin delegation to our campus here. The tireless team from E-Cell of RVCE, a big round of applause for them, because within 2 days we have done a masterpiece here. So thank you very much for organizing this. And finally, my dear students, I thank you very much for coming over here, registering yourself for this particular event and making use of this opportunity. So you will have a networking session now where you can interact with all the founders as well as the Berlin team and from the chief guest as well, so that you can exchange your thoughts and ideas. Thank you very much for all of you and joining here. I would also like to place on records the efforts done by our media team and the HODs and our faculty members who have spared their time here and coming over here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. With that, we officially conclude the formal segment of today's program.
But the conversations don't end here. We now invite everyone to join us for the networking session at the terrace.
This is a valuable opportunity to interact with the Berlin startup founders, mentors, faculties, and peers, so make the most of it.
On behalf of Entrepreneurship Cell RVCE, thank you all once again for being part of this global entrepreneurial experience. This is Sanjana signing off.
And this is Vishnu signing off. Have a wonderful day ahead and happy networking.